here in Miami, Florida. I'm here at IT Expo East 2011. We're in the second day of the conference sessions and exhibit hall. I'm talking this morning with Alan Percy, who's the Director of Market Development at Audiocodes. Alan, good morning. Thanks for joining me as always.
Yep, thanks. Good to be here.
So a lot of exciting stuff going on here at the show. A lot of exciting stuff lately going on over at Audiocodes. Last year, you officially, I guess, launched your enterprise session border controller line.
Right. Yeah, we did, and it's been a great new addition to our product portfolio. I think strategically it's going to make a big difference as we move forward.
Good, excellent. Looking at it from one side, if you look at your financials, those certainly reflected very well on the product launch, it would seem. But as far as market response, what have you seen?
Right. Well, one of the interesting things, obviously, with our enterprise session border control, we sort of strategically saw as we move from a legacy sort of TDM environment over to voice over IP solutions and IP only solutions, is the need to move to an enterprise session border controller type device that allowed enterprises to be able to interface into SIP trunking carriers or host offsite employees, etc. So the integration of the technology into our gateway solution gave us this opportunity to provide these new interfaces. What surprised us about the solution was the demand by the marketplace to merge not only media gateways but also the enterprise session border controllers together as a single platform. So unlike a lot of other businesses, we don't have just totally separate enterprise session border controllers and separate media gateways, but the hybrid delivered in a single box really sort of surprised us with being quite a bit of demand in the marketplace.
Well, a simplification and one less box to deploy, but so a lot of different use cases for this, a lot of different enterprises, a lot of different vertical markets that can benefit. What have you seen? Any particularly exciting customer deployments?
Yeah. Matter of fact, where we got some initial traction with the enterprise session border controller was in the contact center space. And essentially, they're very, very sensitive to cost, obviously, of communications, right? So their traditional TDM telephone lines obviously cost quite a bit of money. They have a significant number of them. So their migration to SIP trunking was obviously a high priority. So by introducing high-density enterprise session border controllers into the contact center space, we're able to help them make that transition from TDM over to IP trunking. And what surprised us is we didn't realize how quickly or the pace at which they wanted to make that transition. They really, on one hand, you might think they might just sort of cut the cord and move over from TDM over to IP, but instead, a lot of the contact center managers were telling us that they wanted to move some of their business over to SIP trunking and to be able to test it and evaluate it and move maybe some of their traffic to SIP trunking while keeping their TDM interfaces. And we're able to do that with our enterprise session border controllers, is do both TDM trunking and IP trunking in the same device and give them that opportunity to make that smooth transition from the legacy to SIP trunking.
So that may actually qualify as something a little unexpected, but other than that, have you seen any unexpected results?
Yeah, so a couple of other things have popped up. First of all, in the SIP environment, of course, sort of this thought process of, well, if I'm SIP and you're SIP, we should just be able to plug in together. And we talked in previous sessions about how interoperability challenges have really stymied some of these customer deployments. What we've discovered is that a lot of the software vendors, for example, Microsoft, have come to Audiocodes and said, help us with the interoperability functionality to be able to interface into some of the SIP trunking service providers, and also to provide security. So what we've been able to do is using our enterprise session border controllers, integrate many different software applications, whether it be Microsoft Link or contact center solutions like Interactive Intelligence and Genesis and others like that, and integrate them into SIP trunking and basically separate all that interoperability testing that they used to have to do. Now we've taken on that role and responsibility. So for them, it's very easy. They talk to us, and then we talk to the providers, and we remove a lot of that testing and certification work. So for us, it's been a nice sort of next step or evolution strategically.
Excellent. So as far as the product line itself, what have you got in the product line, and are you looking to expand it?
Right. So we initially started out with 3 basic platforms. Our Median 800, Median 1000, and Median 3000 enterprise session border controllers. And we more recently, through some of our customer interactions, have been requested to scale up much larger. So what we've recently done is also added our median 5,000 and 8,000 platforms to the session border control platform. And what that's done is it's let us go up to 8,000 sessions in a single device, which obviously is for a large contact center, should fit a pretty broad segment of the market. And it really sort of built out the portfolio. So now all the way from just maybe a handful of sessions, maybe up to 24 sessions, now all the way up to 8,000 sessions. We have a solution, with one management interface, one set of technology, one set of interoperability certification that need to be done across the entire spectrum.
So does that really round out the product line, or anything else exciting coming?
Yeah, well, that certainly from the enterprise session border controller offering, really sort of fills in some of the gaps that we had in the initial launch. And so we're excited about that. Lots of things always, of course, are coming. And we look forward to, certainly when we go to Austin together, to launch some new products this fall. So,
well, I certainly look forward to talking with you at the IT Expo West in Austin.
Yep.
I've been talking here in Miami at IT Expo East 2011 with Alan Percy from Audiocodes. Alan, always a pleasure.
You bet. Thank you.